So today I want to talk about spiritual warfare. This is Leigh, and this is Alcmy Intuitive Arts. I'd like to welcome you to my channel. I'd like to welcome all my new subscribers and my old subscribers, and to any new viewers, you're all welcome here. And spiritual warfare is governed by the devil card. Spiritual warfare, it binds us. It's an energy that creates conflict. It's issued by people who are in their lower energies. Spiritual warfare is a situation that's going on right now. It's super heavy right now. And going forward, I see that this is not going to let up. It's going to stay in this heavy energy. What made me talk about this today is that I see a lot of readers, seers, spiritual people, even religious people, although I'm not going to talk about religion specifically, but I think religion weighs heavy because sometimes this spiritual warfare can be levied by people who carry a specific dogma and who think that their path is the highest path, and so they feel entitled to harm other people. Spiritual warfare can come on an individual level, like one, person against the other person. Say you work with somebody and they don't like you. They don't like your energy. And if you're vibrating highly, if your frequency is high, if you're staying in good energy and you encounter somebody who is low vibing, they're immediately going to have a banshee reaction to you. And believe me, I've seen it countless times in the workplace. Like, they will literally be repelled by you for no particular reason, and they will get their friends who are also low vibe. Some can be just low vibe without any purpose, or some can be actually evil, like finding themselves in demonic energy. Some of these people could have attachments, and they may not know they have attachments. They may just think they're being cool or progressive or whatever, and before you know it, an angel's got you. And I don't mean angel of light, I mean an angel of darkness. There could be an energetic attachment to some of these people, but they will encounter a light being, chosen, or just a regular old good person, and they will be repelled, and they will set out to destroy you. They will set out to malign your character, to disparage your looks, to create imbalances for you. If they're really evil, they might do things like call CPS on you, or get you to fail in some way. They're always going to do something, always. And then there's spiritual warfare on a greater level, and this warfare can occur in organizations, against people within the organization, or against other organizations, people that represent other organizations. This could be religious sects, not sects, although there could be sects in some of these cults. But this could be religious organizations, it could be cult organizations, it could be societies. It's in a larger scale than this one-on-one or this smaller type of energy. And this is where you get into, gang stalking, or being followed, or society, causing trouble for you. Seemingly bad things are happening to you and you don't know why. Well, this could be that some kind of organization doesn't like what you have to say or what you have to do. The other way it can happen is super common, which is on social media. You know, you're doom scrolling and you come across somebody that says something that you disagree with, or you don't like how they look, or they don't wear the right things, or their makeup is screwed up, or they're the wrong color, whatever it is. And so you get your friends together, you come against them, you want to create a problem for them. Well, this is another form. This could happen against content creators. Maybe somebody is creating content and somebody else doesn't want them to succeed. So they'll do witchy things like copy them or disparage them in an indirect way. Fun of how they look, make fun of how they talk, make fun of their age, make fun of their color, make fun of their choices in words, call them unintelligent, maybe that they're too skinny, maybe they're heavy, whatever it is. These are other ways that spiritual warfare occurs, and it can occur with people even trying to commit magic, dark magic, and there's all forms of magic. There's magic that is unique to different cultures. There's magic that people look up on Google and, or they go out and buy a book at Barnes and Noble or off of Amazon, or they gather up their friends and go to the graveyard or whatever it is. Some of these people are strong in their power, and other of these people are weak. They might think they're strong, but they're not. And the way that you can protect yourself from this spiritual warfare is through your cleansing, your cord cutting, recognizing and acknowledging those individuals and being in touch with your own energy. When you become in touch with your own energy, you can feel when those attacks are coming on, that people will try and drain you, or you'll notice, weird things happening, like you're sick, or you have anxiety, or your energy is low. There's all different ways that these things will manifest themselves. And in more worst case, it can manifest itself in negative things to your finances, to your vehicle, legal issues, finding yourself in conundrums, whatever it is. So it's imperative that you have good spiritual hygiene, and that if you know who it is that is causing that, you recognize them, you call them out spiritually, and you don't have to harm them. In fact, I don't put harm out into the universe. I do not return to sender. I return to the infinite source of love and light, because that's going to serve me. And really, if you want these people to go away, they need a little light. More darkness is not going to help them. They need light. And so, you can pray for them. You can pray that they have an experience redemption. You can pray that they an epiphany about themselves. And of course, we also need to look at ourselves. What am I doing that is bringing this energy towards me? Is there anything that I need to do to change who I am? Because who you are may have something to do with why you're collecting this energy. Are you trying to resolve a lesson that you haven't been able to resolve? Are you being guided into this person's life to help them correct, to help them find balance in their life. So spiritual warfare can manifest itself in many ways, but the way that you protect yourself is through literal protection of your energy, and to recognize when negativity is being sent your way, and to recognize that if you're vibrating higher than somebody that is throwing or casting at you, their stuff is just gonna go back to the people in their circle or back to them, because it's going to bounce off of your force field. Think about Star Trek or whatever, put up the force field around the ship. That's the kind of thing you want to do with your body, with your spiritual body, because this confirmation, because this happens in the spiritual realm and it can manifest in the physical realm. So it's important that we recognize that this does exist. And just because you don't want to think that it exists doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Energy flows. Some people are throwing bad energy around, and some people are throwing good energy around. You will know if you're in good energy because you will receive blessings. If you're in bad energy, you will experience temporary opportunity, even at great heights. But if you continue to promote negativity, you will have a great fall. And the higher you go, the harder you fall. So it's super important to recognize when this is happening, to recognize that it does happen. And I am sending a blessing out to all of those brave chosen ones, seers, readers, who are doing the good work to inform their communities about spiritual things, about things that are happening around them. And I'm sending protection to all of those people and to you, even if you're not in that community. And of course, all my gems get protection. Anybody that touches this channel gets protection. And even if the protection means you have to learn a lesson, that is divine intervention. And there's a lot of trolls out there. I hear it every day. I watch different channels, and there's a lot of amazing people out there reading tarot, a lot of people who are psychic, who are seers, and there's a lot of foul energy going around, and there's a lot of trolls trying to undermine people's channels. And I have it done to my channel, and I can tell what, because I have other channels, and I could post the same thing in another channel, and it will get picked up by the algorithm on that channel, and it will get squished on another channel. So this shadow banning, it does exist. There are people that want to, cast their little spells. They may mimic you. They may wear the same outfit or put their hair the same way or do their makeup the same way or talk about things the same way, whatever. That's all a compliment. But in their mind, it's a form of a spell. There's no such thing as a destiny swap. You can't swap what is not yours. It's impossible. If you get swapped, it wasn't yours, okay? So nobody can take anything away from you. And if you think they can, then you're dealing in a mentality of lack, because the universe, the great divine, is infinite. It's an infinite source. And there's nothing to worry about because there's enough for everyone. So if you find yourself, trying to downplay somebody, call them old or call them to make remarks about their appearance or how they talk or their teeth or their smile or their hair or their clothes or this or that, well, all of that is going to come back on you. Yeah, it does. So I'm sending protection to all the the people, spiritual workers that do good work, to all the seers that do good work, and for us to recognize that we are in a spiritual war, and that is going to get worse, not get better. We are in a time when it's good versus evil, and that's very clear, very clear. I mean, it's happening all around us. We see it in the newspaper, we see it on the news, and we see it in our own personal experience. So protect yourself, do your cleansing, cut your cords, enact self-care, stay healthy, think good thoughts, and you will be able to protect yourself from this spiritual warfare. So with that said, peace, love.